here all night.
How about this?
Good evening, and welcome to the April 12th meeting of the Lowell License Commission. Secretary Nguyen, was the meeting
Yes.
posted? Number one on the agenda.
Acceptance of the meeting minutes for our last meeting, March 22nd, 2018.
My colleague, Commissioner Krieger.
I move approval.
Move approval by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number two, please.
First item is the application for public amusement for carnival license by Dean and Flynn, Inc., doing business as Fiesta Shows of Seabrook. John Flynn, representative, for an event at the Welcome Festival Field at 381-501 Pawtucket Boulevard. Fiesta Shows Carnival will be May 24th, 2018 to June 2nd, 2018. Hours Tuesday to Friday will be 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., and Monday and Saturdays will be 12 noon to 11 p.m.
Good evening. State your name for the record.
Good evening, members of the commission. John Flynn, I'm the vice president of Dean and Flynn, doing business as Fiesta Shows.
So what is this now, your 80th year here, or?
Long time.
Long
sir.
time, right?
Long time.
Seriously, how many years? How many years?
We started doing our first event for the city, or actually my father did in 1969.
Good for you. Good for you.
So it's been quite a while. And naturally, as usual, subject to the board's approval, the commission's approval, we would then arrange for police details, fire, building, health, and the state inspections.
Captain Webb, have any reservations of us granting this permit for this?
No, Mr. Chairman, we're always happy to see Mr. Flynn. We don't anticipate any problems.
Good to hear. Questions, comments from the board? Move approved by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Flynn, you do a great job. Continue success.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
Okay.
Number two on our meeting agenda, do we have Meg Hara and/or Tabitha? Okay. For License Commission ratification, the issuance of the following licenses. Special one-day license for malt beverages and wine only, or either one. License that was issued on March 2nd, 2018 to Meg Hara for the Lowell Kinetic Sculpture Race for premises at 92 Bolt Street, Unit 7. LKSR annual fundraiser for Sunday, March 11th, 2018, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Also, we had two licenses issued to Tabitha Garnett, catering manager of Aramark. The first for an event at the ETIC Atrium at 40 University Ave, Technology and Emerging Trends Conference for Thursday, March 15th, 2:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. That license was granted December 14th, 2017, and had been amended on March 9, 2018. Also, Tabitha received an application license for an event at University Crossing 260, 220 Pawtucket Street, the honorary degree reception, which was held Wednesday, April 11, 2018, from 3:30 p.m. to 10 p.m.
State your names for the record, please.
Megan Hara.
Hi, Meg. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You just step aside, so we never get to see Tabitha.
Tabitha Garnett.
Tabitha, we miss you. Where you been?
Oh, been busy.
You've been busy, okay. Motion on the floor by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner Krieger to ratify all three special one-day licenses. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ladies, thank you very much for coming here.
Proceeding with the applications for special one-day license to sell and dispense all alcoholic beverages. We have Ed Janizak of the Holy Trinity Parish Dance that will be held Sunday, April 15, 2018, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Parish Hall at 330 High Street.
Are you going to do the other one?
Francie is unable to be with us this evening.
Okay. Is she going to be coming back? Is she coming back?
She's not able to come here tonight.
Will she be coming back at one of our hearings?
Well, she'll be at our next scheduled meeting.
All right, that's fine. Good evening. State your name for the record, sir.
Edward Janacek.
Mr. Janizek, have you held one of these licenses before, sir?
Yes, this is my third year.
Your third year you've done it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions or comments for the board? Any questions for Secretary Nguyen? You know your responsibilities with this license, correct?
Right.
Fantastic. Move approved by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Mr. Janizek, good luck.
Ed, a great dancer right here. Loves the polka right here. This
Well,
guy
what-
loves the polka.
Mr. Janizek.
I've had a rough
Mr.
day.
Mr.
That was
Janizek, tomorrow, you have to come in tomorrow morning before noon.
Yep.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
Proceeding with the application for a special one-day license to sell, dispense malt beverages and wine only, or either one. Starting with Jenna Simone for Mill Number 5, Wedding Bazaar at Saturday, which would be Saturday, April 28th, 2018, from 12 noon to 4 p.m. at Mill Number 5, 250 Jackson Street, 4th floor. Is Noel Powell here? Okay. Shall I proceed with the others? Okay, starting also with the third item would be Nicholas Araroni of the Craft Food Hall Project, Cross Point Towers, Tower Number 3. This will be the Waltham Police and Fire benefit for one mission, which is Saturday, April 28, 2018, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Also, we have Keziah Rascom of Offbeat Compost for Offbeat Birthday Party and Fundraiser for Thursday, April 19th, from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 92 Bolt Street, Unit 7. Nathan Kilbride of the Lowell Firefighters Association for Lowell Firefighters Road Race, Sunday, June 3rd, 2018, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. within the fence-enclosed area outside club premises at 362, 364 Fletcher Street, Willie and Cross Streets. We also have Christopher, Glenn Hayes for Points of Light Lantern Celebration for Saturday, April 28th, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's at the Ecumenical Plaza, which is near 282 Suffolk. Also, Tabitha Garnett, catering manager Aramark for the University Crossing 260, 220 Pawtucket Street. The Difference Makers Pitch Contest, which will be Wednesday, April 25th, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And we also have Marta Rodriguez, Portuguese American Lowell Youth Center at 739 Central Street, a dinner dance fundraiser for Saturday, April 28th, from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight.
I know it's a bit crowded up there, but if you all state your names for the record, appreciate it.
Jennifer Simone
Hi, Jennifer.
from Mill Number 5.
Okay. Next.
Sorry, I didn't know we were going that way.
Nicholas Aroni.
Hi, Nick, how are you?
Keziah Bascom.
Good evening.
Nathan Kilbride.
Hi, Nate, how are you? Good.
Christopher Glenn Hayes.
Hi, Christopher.
Tabitha Garnett.
Tabitha.
Martha Rodriguez.
Hi, Marta. Okay, we'll go one by one here. Jennifer, refresh my memory, Secretary, was there an email that was sent to the board concerning a duplicate license with Mr. Powell for that night, and can you elaborate on that?
So as I understand it, Jennifer has planned the wedding bazaar
Yeah,
as the manager for Mill Number 5.
uh-huh,
They're bringing in Noel Powell, who is the winemaker for Aaron Apps, to offer his wine, and that he would want to serve that himself, or have people under his employment to serve. He would like his own license to do such. Jennifer also...
Why?
That's the question and answer that I tried to address with Jennifer in an email exchange. As Jennifer can speak for herself, will tell you they want to, Mill Number 5 wants to offer beer, a beer concession, and also I think a wine spritzer.
Yeah, we were gonna do mimosas. It was my first time having a separate vendor
Yeah.
at Mill Number 5 selling their own products. We're selling Mill Number 5 products, so I was more confused of how I should go about it.
And was Mr. Powell adamant that he have his own license as well, or not?
So Mr. Powell is presently licensed by this commission to have the
Right.
Sunday farmer's market that's held at the Mill Number 5. There's a farmer's market,
Yeah.
and under state law, he's applied for a farmer's market winery license to offer glasses of wine and to sell bottles of wine at the farmer's market.
Yeah,
Under the license
okay, I get
we
where you're
granted
going.
him.
All right,
Commission has granted him, I should say. This particular function is on a Saturday,
yeah,
early Saturday afternoon, and apparently it's a practice of Mr. Powell to have his own concession, and he would want to serve that under his own license. Pointed out to Ms. Simone that it's not necessary to have two licenses, because with her being a licensee, if it should be a licensee, under the state regulation, purchasing alcohol by a state licensee, from a state licensee, Mr. Powell is a licensee of the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission by statute.
Yeah.
His product can be purchased for the event under the license Jennifer Simone would have. She can go to a vendor like Mr. Powell.
Mr. Powell, come on in.
He's here. Great.
Gary, Assistant Solicitor. You have a problem with us granting two of these licenses, or, I don't see, I mean, if she wants to spend the extra money, okay, we'll take it.
I just didn't know how everything worked, so I just wanted to make sure I was doing it right.
I think Mr. Powell's license pretty much covers this whole thing, though, doesn't it?
No, okay.
Oh, it's a Sunday only, that's right?
The license that he's been granted by the city
Yeah,
for Sundays
yeah, okay, I
is
get you.
for a farmer's market,
Yep,
and that's by statute.
you got it, all right.
This is a special one-day license application
Commissioner Krieger?
seeking.
Yeah, I got it, Ryan,
It
thank you.
makes sense to have two licenses in my mind, so that we're not creating the fiction that Simone is buying from Mr. Powell and then selling again. I think two licenses makes it clean.
All right, that's
I
fine.
like it.
I agree with you, Mr.
Okay,
Commissioner.
Nicholas, Nick, where are you? What's going on? Craft Food Hall Project, what's going on here?
Yes, sir. We would like to do we're hoping to do a benefit for Waltham Fire and police first responders to benefit the One Mission Fund for Pediatric Cancer. They do a hockey tournament next weekend, and we want to put on kind of like a benefit after the event for them in our Craft Food Hall at Cross Point Towers, where we operate.
Have you held this license before, Nick?
I have not held this license before, and
Do you understand your responsibilities with
I
this
do.
license? You do. You have any questions for the board?
I do not.
No? It's a good thing you're doing, good for you.
Thank you very much.
Kasaya? Offbeat birthday party and fundraising.
So I'm the founder and owner of the company. We're 1 year old, and we are having an anniversary to celebrate the fact that we're still in business. And we just got some, land approved by the Drake Land Trust, and we're fundraising also for a tractor. So it's a celebration and a fundraiser.
Well, we hope you come back here for another one in your second year, okay?
Thank you. My
Right.
fingers are crossed.
Nate, what's going on here? Are you the manager of record at the Lowell Firefighters Club?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you the manager of record at the firefighters?
No, I'm not. I'm the race director for the Lowell Fire 5K.
Okay, so how's that gonna work with the firefighters club and the liquor being served over there during their operating hours?
We are completely separate from the firefighters club. There's no alcohol sales inside the club to come
There is
out
no,
to us.
even though they're open, there will be nothing served inside?
Inside, they can serve, they just can't come out to our area.
Okay. Captain Webb, any problems in the past over there?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Christopher, Light Lantern Celebration, what's up?
So it's the second year of the Points of Light Lantern Celebration. We had amplified music last year, but we did not have beer and liquor.
Okay.
This year we'd like to do that. We have been working with Case, have kind of a fenced-off area around the plaza that we can create a kind of beer garden with.
Very well, okay. Tabitha, Marta, you've both had these licenses in the past. Questions or comments from the board?
Move approval.
Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, good luck with all your events. All right? All right.
Following up with the application by Christopher Hayes for a special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment. Also for the event, the Lowell Points of Light Committee live music, Points of Light Lantern celebration, Saturday, April 28th, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sound check will be at 3 p.m. Ecumenical Plaza near 282 Suffolk.
Captain Webb, any problems last year with this?
No, no problems, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Motion by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Christopher, you're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commission will now proceed with a public hearing on the application filed by B&H Beer and Wine, Inc., doing business as Jay's Beer and Wine, Bhumi A. Patel, President, for the transfer of the malt beverages and wine package store license from Jay's Beer and Wine, Inc., Yujendra Patel, Manager, premises at 168 Gorham Street. It is requested that Bhumi A. Patel be approved as manager of record for B&H Beer and Wine, Inc.
Good evening, Counselor. State your name for the record.
Good evening, members of the commission. Attorney Tom Truax of Salem, Massachusetts, on behalf of the proposed transferee. To my left is Bhumi Patel, and to my right is Hedel Patel.
Good evening.
They are both the shareholders and the officers of the corporation, but Bhumi Patel is the proposed licensed manager. The underlying transaction is pretty straightforward. It's a $90,000 purchase price to be paid by a promissory note of 2 years. I believe all the documents are in there for the backup on that. In terms of experience, Mrs. Patel, Hedel Patel, is actively involved in 2 package stores presently. One, she's a shareholder in East Boston, and another, she's the licensed manager up in Gloucester for a package store up there since 2008. So although she's not the licensed manager, she comes into this transaction with having 10 years of experience in the package store business. Bhumi Patel, while she has never been a licensed manager, nor has she been a shareholder of or had an interest in a package store before, she does own the convenience store, which is right next door at 166 Gorham Street. She bought that about a year ago, and so what they've done is, since I think January 10th of this year, she has started working over at the package store and is now have about 3 months worth of experience under her belt. She will continue to do that until the license is approved. In addition, she has applied for and is scheduled for her server training with the Massachusetts Package Store Owners Association. I have the application. She's scheduled for the 22nd. They only had 3 this spring, and the nearest one is Marlboro, which she is scheduled for on May 22nd. Obviously, we would stipulate that before the license is issued, that she be able to provide evidence of her having successfully passed the training program and provide evidence to the commission of that.
Thank you
Glad
very
to
much.
answer any questions you have.
Recently, we've had quite the issue, and I'm sure Captain Webb will echo my sentiments as well, with fake IDs. Do we have any systems in place that might be able to verify that people are of age?
I don't believe they have the carding. You have a card system, carding machine there? No, they don't have a carding machine there. I mean, if that's something that the commission requests, I'm sure my clients would be willing to do it. Otherwise, I've just given them, as I've run into situations recently, I've just told them carte blanche, you're carding everybody. It doesn't matter, so that they don't run into that situation. Obviously, they're familiar, or they will be, especially with the BAT training and the 3 months that she's had under her belt.
Very good.
She's aware of what the the mass cards are, the mass ID, mass liquor ID, and the mass driver's license and U.S. passport.
Correct.
My only concern is the out-of-state, and I usually tell my clients, don't accept out-of-state licenses because you're really not familiar with them. And I don't believe BAT gives all the states, they give copies of the license. They only give the copies of the Massachusetts. So that's always my advice to my clients. Stick with the ones that are allowed by the Chapter 138.
Will you be adhering to your attorney's advice? Good answer. Good answer. Questions, comments from the board? Motion on the floor, please.
Move approval.
Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Patel, both of you, want to wish you the best of luck. Please be careful, do due diligence, okay? Big responsibility, okay? All right,
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
thank you.
Right here.
I gave that,
Commission will now proceed with the application filed by Global Montello
Hold on,
Group
hold on.
Corp.,
I
doing
apo-
business
I-
as All Town
Secretary
Lowell.
Nguyen, I apologize. That was a public hearing, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
We need to go into a public hearing in order to do that. Do we need them to come back?
regarding
Well, I still got to go to a public hearing, and
as to whether people wish to
we've
speak.
approved it, but I mean, if I have anybody that's against, then so be it. But I did not go into a public hearing on that. Assistant City Solicitor?
If anybody's against.
Before a vote is taken, and I did not do that.
Mr. Chairman, I suggest we ask if anyone is opposed. In this large crowd.
Let's open that up again. All right, I just rather do it right. Huh? My apologies. Jay, you should have raised your hand. Attorney Truax, my dearest apologies. I do apologize, it was my fault, and...
Should have picked it up my side.
And I just want to make sure it's nice and clean, okay? At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing. Anybody like to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? Hearing no one, that portion of the public hearing is closed. Anybody like to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Hearing no one, that portion of the public hearing is closed. Motion has been already made by Commissioner, who made the motion? McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. Attorney Truax, Ms. Patel, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Number 7 on the meeting agenda is the application by Global Montello Group Corp., doing business as All Town Lowell. Sean T. Geary, Assistant Secretary, a malt beverage and wine-only package store licensee for premises at 980 Chelmsford Street. Application is for change in beneficial interest.
Good evening, state your name for the record.
Yep, good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is John Aida of McDermott, Quilty and Miller, 28 State Street. With me is Katie Phelan. She's the Associate General Counsel for Global. As stated before, this is a request for a change in beneficial interest. What precipitated this is a resignation of one of the corporate officer positions. Charles Rudninsky resigned as Executive Vice President and the Chief Accounting Officer. And in his place, Matthew Spencer was elected and appointed as Chief Accounting Officer. It's really just a matter of the paperwork, but all the disclosures and the necessary forms have been submitted. And as you know, the ABCC requires anytime there's a change, even at the officer stage, they they do ask that we come before the local boards for approval as well as the state.
Thank you very much. Secretary Wynn, is all the paperwork in order?
Yes.
It is. All right, motion by, move for approval?
All town is, yes, yes.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Councilors, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Proceeding with number 8, we have the application by Belvedere Liquors, Inc., the all-alcoholic beverage package store licensee at 36 Concord Street, for change of manager to Ms. Barbara M. Correa of Tewksbury.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Secretary Wynn. For the record, my name is Robert F. Kelly. I'm an attorney in Lawrence. I represent the applicant, Barbara Correa, for a change of manager. This application is precipitated by the untimely death of Mrs. Correa's husband, Manuel. Mrs. Correa has had over 20 years' experience in the administration of package stores, both in Lawrence and Lowell, and we are asking for the board's consideration.
Thank you very much. Ms. Correa, our condolences from the board. His husband's run a really good place over there, so once again, my sympathies. Questions, comments from the board?
Move approval.
Move approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much,
All set,
gentlemen.
Counselor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Commissioner, now we'll proceed with number 9 on our agenda. We have applications filed by Lowell Exchange, Inc., doing business as Lowell Jewelry and Loan, Christopher D. McCarthy, President, for renewal of licenses and for change of business address. Presently, Lowell Jewelry and Loan is located at 24 Merrimack Street, is licensed as a pawnbroker, licensed for old gold, silver, platinum, and for secondhand articles. It is the intention of Lowell Exchange, Inc. to relocate the business from 24 Merrimack Street to 749 Lakeview Avenue. Mr. McCarthy filed applications for the renewal for premises at 24 Merrimack Street. It is his desire also to be able to move those licenses to the numbered address at 749 Lakeview Ave.
Thank you. State your name for the record, sir.
Christopher McCarthy.
How are you, Chris, sir?
Well, thank you.
Good. We're just moving, right?
Just moving.
Just moving. Captain Webb, any issues with Mr. McCarthy and his present location?
No, I think I can tell the board that we found Mr. McCarthy to be cooperative with the detectives who go in and check the pawned items, and we have no objection to him moving to the new location.
Very well. Questions, comments from the board? Moved by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner Krieg. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. You're all set?
Mr. Chairman, just so for clarification's sake, I'm not sure when Mr. McCarthy would be able to actually open the store at 749 Lakeview Ave. I may issue him his renewal licenses for 24 Merrimack Street, and at the appropriate time when he's ready, I can change the business address to 749 Lakeview Ave.
What do you want to do, Chris?
That, if it's
When do you plan on
available
moving?
to be open like that, I'm trying to renovate the building. Number one, purchase it.
Yeah,
Number two, renovate it.
Yeah.
And move all the items within the store. So I'm looking for that to happen somewhere between, I'm going to hopefully procure the building on May 15th, then renovate for 30 days and move
Let's-
in
Let's give it to him at his present address. When he's ready to go, let's go to Lakeview Ave. All right? You good with that?
What was the, that, sir? again?
Well, he'll issue it to you for the present location, then when you move, we'll give it to you then.
Oh, terrific.
All right? Make it nice and easy for you.
Excellent.
All right? Nice job. Good comments from Captain Webb, too.
That is good.
All
Thank
right,
you.
very well.
Appreciate that, sir.
Have a nice night.
Proceeding with number 10, we have application by David Auto Sales, Inc., Sophia Mayo, President, for license for secondhand motor vehicles, used car dealer, Class 2, for premises at 93 Chelmsford Street, this being an open lot of 16,958 square feet with office trailer.
Good evening. State your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Sophia Mao.
Okay, Sophia, it's right on the top of the hill there, right? On the left there? It used to be a car lot there, right there?
Yes, before.
All right, and you're also gonna be having the trailer there, or?
Yes.
That's gonna be yours as well?
Yes.
All right, how many cars?
I want to put 15 car for them.
15?
Yes.
That's it?
We made more like storage, but we start born. We want to plan the 15 car first, and then maybe later on we keep moving to 20.
Okay, Captain Webb, any objections, any comments?
No, we have no objection, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Comments, questions from the board? Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Good luck with your new business.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Commission will now proceed with the application filed by Yates Realty, Inc., doing business, Paul Yates, Vice President, for a lodging house license for premise at 278-280 Central Street for the license period commencing May 1st, 2018 to April 30th, 2019. Second and third floors of the property had not been licensed since May 1st, 2015, and the first floor is an all-alcoholic beverage restaurant. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, I had been speaking with Sean Shanahan, building commissioner. The city has been very upset with this particular property owner with respect to the unlicensed operation of a lodging house for several years. Recently, they saw fit to go in there and to shut the place down temporarily, and apparently, at the moment, there is a temporary occupancy permit issued at the moment.
Who issued that permit?
The building commissioner.
So he made sure that everybody is out, but he gave a temporary one?
Immediately, the building commissioner and staff went in and ordered all tenants off the premises.
Okay.
And then, apparently after doing an inspection,
Another inspection?
they issued the temporary occupancy permit allowing tenants to be relocated back into the building
Yeah. Got
for
it.
further review.
Understood.
I believe that's how it is.
Say body house? Did you say body house?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay, disregard.
Good evening, Council. State your name for the record and your
Good
client.
evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is John Hardigan. I'm an attorney here in Lowell. With me this evening is Paul Yates, who's one of the principals of Yates Realty. We are here before you this evening requesting the reinstatement of the lodging house license. The brief story is as follows. This building, I don't know if the commission's familiar with it, it's right in the intersection of Central and Middlesex Street. It's a four-story building, as the executive secretary said. There's a liquor establishment on the first floor. Actually, Mr. Yates used to operate it until, I think, July of 2015. The three other floors are presently suited for lodging. My former partner, Jim Flood, in December of 2011, petitioned the Board of Appeals, and the special permit was issued, which allowed for the renovation of the second and third floor and the construction of 17 residential units. Mr. Flood went back in March of 2015. The fourth floor was approved for renovation, and an additional 10 units were approved and are occupied. So up through March 29th of 2007, there were 20, plus or minus, there were 27 residential units being occupied in the unit. Apparently, and at this point, I've not been able to drill down to see exactly what happened on the 29th, but I would assume an inspection that was done, in connection with the discovery that Mr. Yates had failed to file the annual forms for at least 2016 and 2017, had failed to pay the $50 annual fee since that time. But I think it's important to note that all during that period of time, the annual fire and the annual building inspections were being conducted, and the annual fire passed and the annual buildings passed. Now, again, this happened fairly quickly, or at least my involvement has been fairly quickly on this issue, so I don't know the specifics or the significance of the asserted issues that Mr. Shanahan raised, but what I do know, and actually I submitted to Mr. Nguyen with the application, was a temporary occupancy certificate, which by my limited experience means the entire building's up to code, the entire building passes, the building inspection and the fire inspection. The residents, pursuant to the building department's order, all the 27 people were moved out, all the 27 people were housed, and all the 27 people have been brought back in. So, I mean,
Okay.
I'm not suggesting that it's a minor paperwork issue. It's obviously very significant. He should know better. I'm fairly comfortable this issue won't happen again, but we're just looking for it to be reinstated.
Well, knowing Mr. Shanahan's reputation in this city, which is highly recognized, I'm sure that he's going to be visiting Mr. Yates quite a bit, so I believe that you'll have to have everything in order. If not, I'm sure you'll be in front of this board again. So if the board has any other questions or comments?
Move approval.
Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Best of luck. All right.
Commissioner will now proceed with hearing on allegations of misconduct as charged by William M. Taylor, Superintendent of Police, in a communication to the Commission dated March 5th, 2018, for allegation of misconduct against restaurant licensee for all alcoholic beverages regarding incident of March 4th, 2018, against LD Holdings LLC, doing business as Bar 74 Lounge and Grill at 7678 Merrimack Street. David E. Healy, manager. Lauren DeSalvo is the owner of the LLC. Also, we have a second complaint filed by the Superintendent of Police. This communication had been dated March 7, 2018, for allegations of misconduct against the restaurant licensee, Bar 74 and Lounge Grill, 7678 Merrimack Street. David E. Healy, manager of record. Lauren DeSalvo, owner.
Secretary Nguyen, I'd like the record to be noted that upon advice from the city solicitor's office this afternoon, I will be recusing myself from both these complaints.
Mr. Executive Secretary, you got the paperwork for this? Okay.
Commissioners, I believe we have here to testify in front of the commission, Officer Kingham and Detective Borodaka. We had also, our office had subpoenaed a witness who we believe was present during the course of the incidents that occurred on March 4th, Courtney Vermette. I understand from her counsel that she's here today with her counsel, but she will be asserting her Fifth Amendment right not to testify.
Thank you. Please identify yourself, sir.
Attorney Travis Jacobs for LD Holdings.
And would you like the two complaints read into the record?
No, thank you.
Okay. So, let's start with the witnesses to tell us what it is they think they saw.
Good evening.
Yeah, your name, please?
Officer Daniel Kingan, Lowell Police Department. Okay, so essentially, on the morning of the 4th, it was about 1:41 a.m. Several police officers from the city of Lowell were dispatched to the area of 29 Central Street, outside the Old Court Bar, for assault in progress. We arrived, we found a male victim who had some injuries to his face and head, and subsequent to the investigation involved, we found that the assault had originated inside Bar 74 and had involved several people inside the bar using bottles and beer pitchers, as well as kicking as weapons. And then the victim was able to crawl under a table, run out of the bar, run down Merrimack Street, down to Central Street, where the group had chased him and continued assaulting him. Evidently, this led to not only the victim, but 3 other people being hospitalized with various injuries. And as this investigation revealed that the assault had originated and taken place inside the bar, we had also found that no one from the bar had contacted police in any way to notify or report the incident.
And so how did you learn about the incident? You stumbled across it?
So it was originally called in by the staff of the Old Court Bar about a large group of people fighting outside of their establishment. And then there were some people who were detained briefly outside of that area. The victim ended up going to the hospital. Upon a follow-up investigation at the hospital, we located another victim who, at the time, originally stated that, she was just a passerby and was assaulted. But then further on at the investigation, it was learned that they were in the establishment, Bar 74, and upon speaking to that individual again, they had stated that, yes, they were in...
Yes, the officer had not yet been sworn in, so if the executive secretary is not going to do it, then I'll swear him in, if that's acceptable. Can you raise your right hand?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear that the testimony you've given and the testimony you will be giving is the truth?
Yes.
And nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so upon further speaking to that individual, they were able to tell me that they were inside Bar 74, and they gave an account of the incident that corroborated what the victim and 2 other victims were essentially reporting to me as well.
Did anyone from the bar notify LTC of the events that occurred at the bar?
No.
Did you interview any of the employees of the bar?
Yes, so right after the incident was initially reported and officers responded to the area of the scene, I did speak to a security personnel, his name's Mr. Scotty Foreman, and he stated to officers when we asked if there was an assault or anything of that nature that happened inside the bar, he stated that it did not happen inside the bar.
So he was not being truthful?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not sure who the manager was that night, because by the time we had been able to establish that there was actually some kind of assault that happened inside the bar, the bar was closed for the night.
All right, so the attorney for the bar, do you have any questions you'd like to ask this officer? Thank you.
Do you mind if I stand up here?
Good.
Thanks. Okay, do you have a copy of the police report in front of you? There's a lot that's been redacted from this. And I'm wondering who was responsible for the redactions. For example, on page 4, second paragraph, where I've made circles here. Can you see that? Do you know who's responsible for redacting those paragraphs?
Yeah, that's, I don't know, because that's not my job function. So I don't know where you obtained a copy of the report, if you obtained it from the police department?
I obtained it from the city solicitor's office.
Okay, then
And, excuse me, and,
obtain it from me.
excuse me.
I'm just asking.
Excuse me. So, did you ask the solicitor's office about the redactions?
No, I'm asking this officer about the redactions because I'd like to know whose names these are. There are names, they're complete sentences redacted out.
So
since
page
this-
4, I noticed Ortega was transported to. That's a place, not a person's name, right?
No, it says Lavassier also spoke with blank and Rudy.
I'm sorry, I'm about 45% of the way down. Ortega was transported to, on page 4, someplace for medical treatment by Trinity EMS. Are we on the same page?
Yep, I see that portion, but it's 2 paragraphs up. It's the paragraph that is also partially redacted. At the top, it starts with Weil Boykins.
Mr. Commissioner, I can answer the attorney's question.
Please.
If you'd like. I made the redactions from the reports before they were sent over to the License Commission, and the only things that are redacted are people's dates of birth or social security numbers, as far as identifying information, and any information about medical treatment was redacted.
Okay, so this portion, associates of Ortega were located in the area blank and blank, Alicia, Rudy, blank, there's a whole sentence there. Did that have to do with dates of birth, social security numbers, and medical treatment?
Yes, those are the only redactions that were made.
Okay, on the, towards the end of that paragraph, there's a sentence that begins, Lavassier also spoke with blank and Rudy. Is that a date of birth, social security number, or medical treatment information?
At what page are you on, sir?
Page 4, just beneath the redaction we were just talking about. Same paragraph. It's the very last sentence, or the second to last sentence of that paragraph. Begins with Lavassier also spoke with blank and Rudy regarding what he observed and reported. This officer also spoke to blank. The whole sentence is blanked out. Who stated that he observed?
I can't explain what redaction you're talking about, because in my copy, I only have the redactions I made, and those names you're asking about are in my copy.
I made copies. May I approach?
Please.
You turn to page 4 of my copy. Page 4 of that copy, and throughout the copy that we were provided by the city solicitor's office, is considerably redacted with
I'm sorry.
information that I think expands beyond dates of birth, social security numbers, and medical treatment information, which then prevented us from being able to contact or identify additional witnesses who may have provided information that was contrary to the story being presented today.
Yeah, I can see what you're indicating to me. I did not make those redactions, so I don't have an explanation for them.
I don't have the redactions.
Does the city solicitor's office know if anyone in the city solicitor's office made those redactions and why?
I don't know where we're talking about.
So on page 4. It says this name was redacted. And on his copy, Shepherd right here is redacted.
Very strange.
So does the committee have a different copy of the police report?
We apparently do. And it would seem that ours is pretty close to the one that our police department representative has.
Could I see a copy of that report that the committee's been provided with?
Sure.
Thank you.
Wait, is that the new one or is that his old one?
That's the copy Attorney Jacobs had.
Okay, so based on this particular copy, there are a number of names and information that is not redacted out. Specifically, Heidi Shepard, phone number, Ms. Rudy and a phone number, what Ms. Shepard stated to officers. Why would the city solicitor's office redact a witness's name from the police report in the copy given to the defending party, the responding party?
That's an interesting question,
I agree.
preceded by the question of what did they really send you? So is what they sent you what you received?
Well,
I mean, faxes haven't been around for, what, 100 years? It should be the same.
well, it seems like this individual Shepard, Heidi Shepard, was redacted entirely from the copy that we received, including statements that Ms. Shepard made.
So,
There aren't that many, but nevertheless.
and you believe this is germane to your defense?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit interesting. We had the opportunity to do background checks and look into all these other witnesses, but we didn't have that opportunity with Ms. Shepard. We didn't even know to reach out to her that was a possibility.
When did you find that this redaction existed?
We found the redaction existed when we received it.
And what did you do? Did
Well,
you ask?
We did not, because we received it about 3 days ago. But we do understand that dates of birth, social security numbers, and medical record information are generally redacted from police reports, which is why it was one of my first questions, because when you read through the context of this report, it doesn't seem as if those redactions were simply dates of birth, social security numbers, and medical record information.
I got that. But from my perspective, you've had it for 3 days, but you've waited until now to bring up the issue.
Well, with all due respect, it's not my job to go and ask the city solicitor's office, why did you redact something? And then give the city solicitor an opportunity to resolve that issue before the hearing. My
But it's
job is
apparently your job to bring the issue up now. Why
That's
didn't we
correct.
resolve this before the hearing?
because then I wouldn't have an opportunity to raise it as an issue today and show to this commission that somebody redacted information that may have been helpful to the respondent for whatever reason. And personally, or from our perspective, that fact supports the rest of my argument today and the reasons why we're here today, the history with this particular licensee. So I wasn't about to go and contact the city solicitor and ask, why did you redact all of this non-social security, non-date of birth, non-medical information? I'm happy. I do have some additional questions for Officer Kingen if we'd like to move on to those.
I don't want to move on. I want to find out what our solicitor says. When's the next meeting? I won't be here. Please.
If I might just ask the council a question while we're waiting. Have you contacted the people you were able to discern in the police report you were given?
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't have an answer for you. I don't know whether they were redacted after we gave the reports. I have no clue as to when it was redacted, why it was redacted. I know what reports we have and the redactions, which are consistent with.
I'll entertain a motion to split this 2 weeks so that we make sure we get the right information.
I think I will agree with you, but I want to make sure before we leave tonight, the council gets a copy that we're all dealing with and we're ready to go forward on the 26th. I have concerns about delaying this all too long, but I feel the attorney, and that's why I asked the question, if he's made an effort to contact a number of people, that's fine, and I think we probably should give him an opportunity to contact the other people in the police report.
Okay, before we take a vote, on this second item, do you feel that you got the proper information on this second issue here?
About the manager of record?
No. Allegation of misconduct. The other one.
Mr. Commissioner? I'm sorry, I might have something else to add to the discussion. I don't provide reports directly to Attorney Jacobs. I supply the reports to the License Commission, and then the reports are forwarded from there. I notice on the report that Attorney Jacobs was asking me about, there's a police department fax number on the top of the report that apparently was where this was sent from. I don't have any explanation as to how this report would have been faxed to Attorney Jacobs from the police department. The only explanation I can think of is perhaps if Attorney Jacobs' office called the police department directly and got a hold of someone, perhaps in our record bureau, they might have made different redactions than I had made, and maybe that explains the discrepancy. But as far as what was provided to the commission from me, as part of the superintendent's letter of complaint, as I said earlier, I can explain those deletions, and maybe the explanation for a different set of deletions was that someone faxed a report to Attorney Jacobs' office. I don't know why that would have been done. I don't know why, I don't know if his office called and asked the police department to fax a report to him or not.
So we would have submitted the same redacted report that we got.
Yeah, Mr. Nguyen.
In this recent matter of notifying the licensee of hearing, it was faxed, and it was faxed on March 23rd, 2000, no, I'm sorry, not faxed, emailed by attachment. Notice of hearing to Attorney Jacobs, as well as to Mr. Salvo.
Did you get the email, Attorney Jacobs?
I did get the email notice of the hearing, right? You're not talking about the actual police report, are you?
It was included, all of it, all of the information with respect to notice of hearing, as well as the letter from the superintendent of police to the Chairman John Dakota, and attached to that was the police report that came to the License Commission by way of email, as well as by way of hard copy in the inter-office mail from the police department, superintendent's office. So what you received by way of email, and Mr. Salvo as well, for the notice of hearing for today, this evening, was exactly what was received by me from the superintendent's office.
I received that email too.
Do we have a copy of the documents?
I didn't think they would be different. And honestly, I can't tell you right now whether I compared the two or not. I can't represent that I did that. I would have had no reason to suspect that one copy of the police report was different from the other. So I don't even know, to be perfectly honest. To be perfectly honest, I'm not sure this isn't what I got from Mr. Wynn. I thought this was from what I got from the city, whether Mr. Wynn or the city solicitor's office. So,
Well, respectfully, I would request that this matter not be put off then, since from what I'm hearing, the actual document that you have in front of you was submitted to council in that email in ample time, so he has the document that the captain had testified to was redacted appropriately, so he's had that information. So where this other report came from, it looks like it came separately from the Lowell Police Department, but he's had ample time to review the reports that you have and that I have, which do indicate the names of the individuals, the witnesses. So he's had that since March 23rd. Today is the 12th of April, so almost 3 weeks. So I'm requesting that the hearing not be carried for 2 weeks, but be completed tonight.
Solid and not appealable or successfully appealable, we need to give the council time.
I'm taking council's representation that he received and believed he had a full police report as provided. And I agree with you that we want to make sure this is done properly so that if any findings are made against the bar, we've not made mistakes. So I'm thinking that, and I will bring up one topic before I make the motion. I know Attorney Donahue, no relation, he spells his name the wrong way, is here with a young lady who's a witness. I understand that she is going to take the Fifth Amendment, and so I was perhaps wanting Mr. Donahue to address tonight this matter, so the young lady, if she is going to take the Fifth Amendment, will be excused and Attorney Donahue can get out before we go on any further.
And correct the spelling of his name.
Well, for the record, yes.
Commissioners, I would also request that the second matter be put forward tonight and decided, since that has nothing to do with any alleged redaction problems.
Thank you, Attorney.
Good evening, members of the Licensing Commission. My name is Paul Donahue, last name Donaghue, and I'm here in my capacity as an attorney representing Courtney Vermette. Ms. Vermette received a summons to appear here from the Office of the City Solicitor. And we are, at this point in time, asking the council to permit us, my understanding is you may or may not continue this for 2 weeks and ask us to step up to the mic out of order so that Ms. Vermette may exercise her Fifth Amendment privilege on the record, because she will not be offering any testimony. She is the subject of pending criminal litigation, and she would like to do that on the record for the committee so that she doesn't have to come back in 2 weeks.
My name is Courtney Vermette. I live at 131 Hunters Run Place in Haverhill, and I'm going to have to politely decline and exercise my Fifth Amendment and not testify.
Thank you, Mr. Krieger. Thank you, other members of the committee.
I move that we continue this hearing for a period of 2 weeks so the council can prepare with further information. If that's agreeable to the board. Continue the first hearing. The first hearing only at this time for 2 weeks, and council be provided or obtain a copy of the redacted police report only insofar as the names and addresses.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Reschedule this for the 26th.
Can I chime in here? We're willing to waive it. We'll waive it. We want to get this resolved. I've prepared for this hearing. I understand that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
Proceeding with 12B, the hearing on the allegation of misconduct as charged by William M. Taylor, Superintendent of Police, in the communication dated March 7, 2018, for allegations of misconduct against restaurant licensee for all alcoholic beverages. Incident of March 6, 2018, against the LD Holdings LLC, doing business as Bar 74 Lounge and Grill, 7678 Merrimack Street. David E. Healy, manager. Lauren DeSalvo, the owner. Mr. Chairman, this particular nature of this complaint has to do with the police finding that there was not an available liquor license on premises, and also the manager of record, David Healy, if he is currently employed with the licensee.
Do we know that we issued a liquor license?
Mr. Chairman, I have it in my office right now because it was surrendered by the licensee. The licensee is now serving a one-day suspension, both Bar 74 and Revolution. Both licenses are in the law office on the 3rd floor.
Okey-dokey. Mr. Jacobs, would you like this to be read into the record?
No, sir.
All right, then. So, has the city brought forward any witnesses that would like to talk?
Detective Borodaka is here.
Could you identify yourself, sir, and give your testimony, please?
Be sworn in.
Mr. Jacobs?
Sworn in, yes, to be sworn in.
He has to be sworn in? Have we ever done this before?
Yes.
Okay,
Detective.
Ryan, swear him in.
Oh, he won't do it. Detective, do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Tell us about your visit to the bar.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Borodaka. I'm a detective assigned to the Criminal Investigations Bureau, the Lowell Police. On March 6th, I visited Bar 74 with the intentions of securing video footage relative to the incident on March 4th. I spoke to a bartender. She identified her name as Sarah Canellis. She could not provide me with any video surveillance. While I was there, I was unable to locate the liquor license. And I had asked for who the manager of the record was, and she identified a David Haley Jr. He was not present. She had indicated that he had just stepped out. I remained there for a period of time. He never came back. I left my business card and contact information, and as of today, I've yet to hear back from anyone.
Did you look around to see if there was a frame within which the liquor license might have been residing?
I did.
Or should have been?
Yes, I did.
Did you find one?
I did not.
Mr. Jacobs, do you have any questions?
Did you have occasion to speak to Mr. Healy?
I did.
Wait. I don't want to move on to that yet.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. If you were asking questions, I figured you were done with testimony.
No, that's why I asked Mr. Jacobs if he had a question, where we are so far.
Did you speak to anybody else at the bar that day?
I did not.
And how long did you wait around for Mr. Healy to show up?
I would say about half an hour,
And what time of day was that?
late evening,
Remember the approximate time?
maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock,
Remember what day it was?
March 6th.
Was that a Saturday night or maybe a Tuesday?
I believe it was during the week. I don't recall the exact date.
But it was definitely Friday or Saturday?
No, it was not.
And you said you didn't see anything on the wall or anywhere in the premises, a frame or anything? Where did you look?
I looked right next to the elevator. I looked all around the bar, the center area. I asked the bartender if she knew where it was. She pulled out a book. We looked through the book together. We did not find it.
Had you ever been into the bar before March 6th?
Yes, I have.
And did you happen to notice that the license was missing at that time?
I was not there looking for it at the time.
Were you there
I was there
this
for
time?
unrelated matters.
Were you there this time looking for the license?
I was.
You were specifically looking for the license on the wall?
That was one of my functions, yes, for
Why
showing
was
up.
that?
To confirm that there was a license.
Couldn't you
And-
just contact the city to confirm that the license existed?
And it needs to be displayed.
Correct, but you said you were there to confirm that there was a license
On display, yes.
on display. And why were you there trying to confirm that a license was on display on March 6th of this year?
It was part of the investigation
Of which investigation?
of the prior incident on March 4th.
The incident at 29 Central Street?
Yes,
Okay, so as a result of the incident at 29 Central Street, you specifically went to the bar to see if they had a license on the wall?
to find out who the, yes, that and to find out who the manager of record is, as it would be located on the license.
And did anyone direct you to go to the bar to confirm that there was a license on display on the wall?
Yes.
And who directed you to do that?
Sergeant Murray?
I'm sorry, who?
Sergeant Murray?
Sergeant Murray?
Yes.
And do you know why he directed you to do that?
I would assume it had something to do with the incident that happened prior to the 6th.
When there's an incident like the one at 29 Central Street on the 4th of March, is it normal practice for you to then go to the bar to check and make sure that there's a license on the wall on display?
It has not been my practice.
Has Sergeant Murray ever instructed you to do that with any other licenses?
No.
And how long have you been on the force here in Lowell?
Almost 3 years now.
So in your 3 years on the force in Lowell, how many licensee investigations have you done?
I've been assigned to the Criminal Bureau for the past year. This is my first one.
Okay, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Detective, did you have the opportunity to speak to Mr. Healy, the prior manager of the bar?
I did.
And do you recall when that was?
It was March 24th.
And what was the purpose of your meeting and speaking
To confirm his employment status with the bar and to confirm whether or not he is the manager of record. So he had indicated that he started working at the bar when it opened up about a year and a half ago. And he worked, his capacity at that time was the manager of record, and he worked up until November of 2017, at which time he resigned on his own free will and sought employment at another location.
I'm sorry, you can't testify to what was in Mr. Healy's mind?
He's testifying to what he said.
I'm sorry, was this the same officer that took his written statement?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then it's hearsay too, isn't it? I mean, objection to hearsay.
This is a quasi-judicial proceeding, and hearsay is accepted. The rules of evidence are relaxed. Counsel, you're aware of that.
I understand the rules of evidence are relaxed, but I still think we're sitting here, we have a statement from someone who's not here to cross-examine.
Okay, let me ask you a question before we go on. Was Mr. Healy fired?
No.
Is Mr. Healy present in this room to explain his status?
We certainly can. If you would
You
like.
can, you should have.
We can now. I'm happy to have my client give statements as.
How long will it take for him to be here?
We don't have control over him.
Let's move on.
Since he has met with police, he has not communicated with my client.
Okay, we're moving on.
So, again, you were saying that Mr. Healy advised you that he sought other employment?
That's correct, yes.
Where was that?
Jimmy John's, he is the manager of Jimmy John's.
So did he advise you as to whether he remained also as the manager of Bar 74?
No, he said he relinquished that position when he left in November of 2017. He indicated in February of this year, he was contacted by the owner, Lauren DeSavo, who had offered him a job as an intermittent security officer. He accepted, and he worked various shifts up into on or about the week of March 10th.
Anybody on the commission have a question?
I don't.
I note in the letter to the chairman from the police department that in fact, in the details given, that in fact Captain Webb had spoken to David Healy. That indicates that Mr. Healy stated to Captain Webb that in fact he had not been serving as the manager of Bar 74 since the end of 2017. And the captain is available. Thank you.
Sorry. Didn't you just say that you spoke to Mr. Healy and he took his statement? Is that correct or not?
I took his statement on the 24th.
Or did Mr. Webb take it?
Captain Webb talked to Mr. Healy, but this is the statement. Did you get a copy of the statement?
I do have a copy of the statement. I was going to object to the statement being admitted into evidence as well, since we have no opportunity to cross-examine this person.
I would have thought you would have made him present. Which gets us back to the license issue. You're familiar with our rules. You commented on them the last time we were here or the time before. And I thought our rules were pretty straightforward about the license having to be prominently displayed.
Yes, sir.
I know as a license commissioner, when I walk into an establishment, I look for the license. Sometimes they haven't put the new one up, and I say, you don't have the new one up, and they fix it. And one place, it took me about 3 visits for them to get it out of the folder and put it up on the wall. But licenses are supposed to be prominently displayed, are they not?
They are, sir.
Thank you. All right. Would you like Captain Webb sworn in to say that he talked to Mr. Healy, and Mr. Healy said he had not been the manager of record since last year?
I'd actually like to do a little bit of redirect, if you don't mind. I was unaware that this was the particular officer who took Mr. Healy's statement.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So is it Officer Borodaka?
Borodaka, yes.
Borodaka, okay. And you are the officer who sat down with Mr. Healy and typed out what he said word for word in the statement that's been provided to the committee?
Correct.
And why did Mr. Healy go to the police department that day?
I had asked him if he was willing to provide a statement. He indicated he would be willing to do so.
And when did you ask him?
The day of the statement, on March 24th.
March 24th. And where was he when you asked him?
He was on his way to work.
And where was that?
Jimmy John's?
Did you call him or did you?
Yes, I called him previous to that.
Okay. So March 24th is 2 days after the last hearing that we had, where Mr. Healy was believed to be at Bar 74 doing inventory. When were you told or instructed to get Mr. Healy to give a written statement?
I don't recall the exact date.
Who instructed you to get Mr. Healy to give a written statement?
Sergeant Murray?
Sergeant Murray?
Yes, he's my supervisor.
And do you know why Mr. Murray instructed you to do that?
No,
Do you know who instructed Mr. Murray to relay that to you?
I don't.
Who's Mr. Murray's supervisor? Or Sergeant Murray's?
Lieutenant Coyle?
And is Captain Webb also your supervisor?
Yes.
Can I ask you, have you heard anything, what's your sense of the department's feelings towards LD Holdings as a liquor licensee? If you know, just curious.
I don't know. I don't have a,
You never heard anything about LD Holdings, Bar 74?
I don't know what the department's feelings.
I'm sorry, I can ask him, right?
I don't know.
Rules of evidence are relaxed.
No, how can he testify to what the department's feelings are?
I'm asking him what his sense of LD Holdings' reputation around the department is. Not what the department's sense is as an entity. If you know.
I don't know.
Have you ever heard anyone talk derogatively about LD Holdings or Mrs. Song?
No.
Have you received any other directives to investigate Bar 74, LD Holdings, or Revolution?
No.
So this is the only time that you've ever been told to do any kind of investigation with respect to LD Holdings?
As well as the, when I went to Bar 74 on March 6th to obtain video surveillance.
When you initially spoke with David Healy, when was it? The first time you spoke to him after or on March 4th?
It would have been March 24th.
So the first time you actually found Mr. Healy and spoke to him was March 24th?
It was either the 23rd or the prior or the day of March 24th.
And do you know if anyone else at the Lowell Police Department spoke with Mr. Healy between March 4th and March 24th?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay, I don't have any further questions. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Wait, anybody else have a question? Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Do we have any other witnesses from the city?
Captain Webb?
Well, I have some questions for Captain Webb.
Would you like to ask Captain Webb a question?
I would appreciate that.
So let us swear in Captain Webb.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you, Captain Webb. Can you tell me when the first time you spoke to Mr. Healy on or after March 4th was?
I spoke to Mr. Healy on March 7th.
And what was your purpose for contacting him or his purpose for contacting you?
I wanted to ask him if he was still the manager at Bar 74.
And why did you have reason to believe that he was or wasn't?
I had received information that he was no longer the manager.
And who did you receive that from?
I'd prefer not to say now. I don't want to release informant information.
Is it a confidential informant telling the police about managers of record?
That was the source of the information, yes.
So the actual source of the information that Mr. Healy may not be the manager of record for Bar 74, that source is a confidential informant for the Lowell Police Department.
No, let me clear that up. It's not, this source is not a registered confidential informant for the police department.
So are you
Perhaps I would be clearer to answer that this was a source, not a confidential police source.
So it's just a source that you personally don't want to reveal, is that correct?
Yes. I don't even know this source's identity. It was relayed to me.
So an unknown third party just called you up and said, hey, David Healy's not the manager of record at Bar 74 anymore, and you acted on that. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. The information came from a source that I don't know, through someone that I do know.
And who's the person that relayed the source's comments about Mr. Healy's status as manager of record? What's that person's name?
Raised it.
You're gonna make this germane for us, right?
I am, yeah. If the committee will let me go through my entire argument, I will.
Okay, I'm not going to disclose the person I talked to at this point.
Okay, so a unknown third party informed you that Mr. Healy was possibly not the manager of record. That person told you, and you are unwilling to identify who that person is.
Correct.
And when did this person first tell you that they had heard Mr. Healy was not the manager of record anymore?
I don't remember the exact date, but it was close in time to March 7th.
And do you know why this person came to you with this information?
I imagine it was because the person knew that that information would be of interest to me.
Why is that?
The person was aware of my position as the liaison to the License Commission.
Is the person a member of the Lowell Police Department or a civilian?
Commissioners, I don't know where we're going with this. The issue here is whether or not Mr. Healy is the manager or not the manager. What information Captain Webb may have gotten at some point in time.
Trying to make the point that there's animus against L.D. Foley. He's just taking a very long time doing it.
But that, again, even if that's the case, it's irrelevant to the simple question, yes or no, is Mr. Healy the manager or not, because he was the only manager of record at some point in time. So why can't we just cut to the chase and get to the bottom line as to whether or not Mr. Healy was the manager or not. That's why we're here on this complaint.
Well,
Are you going to assert that Mr. Healy is the manager of record?
with all due respect, I think my questions are relevant because up until March 22nd, he was the manager of record. And then all of a sudden, he refused to respond. He speaks with police. He doesn't show up to this hearing. He won't respond to my client's calls, texts, emails, anything. And now he's disappeared. He give Mr. Palladino here is our new manager of record we intend to apply for tomorrow.
You're operating without a manager of record.
That premises has not been open since March 20th, when we discovered here that there was a question about Mr. Healy's status as manager of record. When we attempted to reach out to him, okay. So, may I approach? I have a couple of documents I'd just like to share.
While you're passing that out, Counsel, I have a question for you. Do you have any interest in this going over to the next date also? And see if we can subpoena Mr. Healy here?
I don't mind doing that, but
I don't know if counsel would be doing that, but you say that you've made attempts to reach him, Mr. Healy?
my client has made attempts to reach him.
Okay.
So what I'm showing you are text messages from February. Now, supposedly, according to Mr. Healy's statement signed that he gave at the police station at the request of the police, he resigned in November of 2017 and had been simply security on an intermittent basis. And yet, in text messages between Mr. Healy and my client, on February 23rd at 11:26, he's talking about doing inventory, how he just fixed the taps. Can he get in there sometime during the day tomorrow? Now, why would someone who's just doing security and is not the manager of record need to get into the bar?
I'm sorry,
during the
that's not in
daytime?
the piece of paper that was provided to us. Do you have that?
I think the committee has all five.
And who says who will get on that phone?
There's two different sets of text messages. The one that's dated Friday, February 23rd at 11:26 p.m. is talking about him doing inventory, fixing the taps, and needing to get to the bar the very next day during the day. Why does he want to get into the bar, he writes? So he can do a complete audit of all the bottles so they know exactly what they have. Now, does that sound like someone who is simply a security guy intermittently working at the bar? Or does that sound like somebody who's the manager of record? At the bottom of the text on Saturday, February 24th, he's talking about a clerical error he found with the deposits. Why is a simple security guard going through the deposits and figuring out what clerical errors there are or aren't? On February 6th, 9:23 a.m. What's up, boss? Was scrambling around yesterday. Let me know your schedule if possible.
February 26th?
No, 6th.
Who is the boss in this case that he's texting with?
It's Ms. DeSalvo.
And she has been up here on Lowell this whole time? Yes.
February 6th, 10:36 a.m. Mr. Healy writes, I'll be downtown at 1 o'clock. What time are you heading back? Then he provides Ms. DeSalvo a reminder that the fire department is coming by tomorrow on Thursday, February 8th at 10 a.m. Once again, why is a security guard who just works intermittently letting Ms. DeSalvo know that there's an appointment with the fire department? Better yet, why 1 month later is he's signing a statement at the police department saying that he resigned on November of 2017, and yet my client has no idea that that ever happened. And we all showed up here on March 20th thinking he was going to be here. And if it's,
Well, we have a concern that even though we turn over documents prior to the hearing to council, this was not provided to us before tonight so that we could in any way determine whether or not Mr. Healy is the Dave referenced in this, whether he actually provided this, what this means. We have no way of knowing this. He's just dropping it on us at this point in time unfairly, despite the fact that we had provided discovery to him prior to the hearing. So obviously, we would like adequate time in order to review this and consider this appropriately.
All right, so here we are, we have someone, perhaps Dave Healy, who may be more than a security guard, but not the manager of record, if he thinks he is not the manager of record. Have you never worked in an organization where you did a little extra, made up for the deficiencies of others? Maybe not. You work with...
With all due respect, Commissioner, the manager of record is required to come into this committee when they are granted manager of record status and acknowledge, I understand the rules and regulations, I understand my duties and responsibilities. Is the commission now saying that a manager of record who accepts those duties and responsibilities can simply slack them off, disappear, and just say, well, I didn't think I was the manager of record anymore, so maybe I wasn't. He never notified anyone in writing. He had a responsibility to do that. He never notified the city or the town. He had a responsibility to do that.
But then why are you bringing in a new manager of record if he's still the manager of record?
When we have a statement that the police department's claiming is signed by Mr. Healy, claiming he's no longer the manager of record, how can my client possibly continue to do business saying that he's still manager of record? That's just simply not possible.
Okay, thank you.
One question, if I might, counsel. Can I get in here sometime during the day tomorrow so I can pull everything apart? The manager of record can't access the bar himself?
I don't know why he couldn't get in the bar that day. Who knows? I don't know the details behind that. It would be great if he was here to testify. I honestly don't know why Mr. Healy would voluntarily go to the police department and give a signed statement, but he's unavailable to show up here to be cross-examined as to that very statement, but the statement is here.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to put this over till the 26th and subpoena Mr. Healy to be here. I have grave concerns about the management of the bar, and I said it at the last meeting, grave concerns about the management of the bar, and I think we've got to clear this up as quickly as possible. I don't see management at all over there now. But I make a motion to continue this. We get Mr. Healy in here for the next meeting so that everybody can ask him the questions that are pertinent to this hearing.
Mr. McCarthy.
I'll second that, but I also, go ahead, I'll second that. Do you want to vote on it first?
All right. Made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, I also would like Mr. Healy's pay records brought in for our next meeting.
Okay then.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I think we're done here.
Thank you to the commission. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for my comment. Tell me, shut his mic off. I want to talk to you after the meeting.
I'm gonna get even with you.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, the Secretary has a report, if I may. With respect to communication pertaining to one of the licensees of record, Costa Verde Corp. I had reason to check with the Secretary of State's Corporations Division. And to my understanding, on the Corporations Division's website, Costa Verde Corp., doing business as La Pradera, that corporation had been dissolved by the Secretary of State in 2007. I emailed a communication to Louis Lee, who is known to be the president of Costa Verde Corp. Earlier in the week, I received a call from Mr. Lee, and he reached out to an accountant, and the accountant, I had received an email from the accountant, who is in the process of taking the necessary steps to reinstate Costa Verde Corp. With the Secretary of State's office. As of this afternoon, I checked the website, and from year 2007 to 2012, annual reports of condition had been filed, approximately 6 years. There's additional documentation to be submitted, and subsequent to the additional documentation, it's my understanding that the corporation should be reinstated in good standing. So I respectfully request the commission, I will offer the commission an update on this matter in 2 weeks, if I may, and the board not necessarily take any action at this time.
Why don't we, motion by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy, place on file at this point. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Following which, I have the license to be issued to entity known as Bump and Feed LLC. This is a public amusement license for show. Bump and Feed is a business entity that runs Chaotic Wrestling, and they had been granted a license for Friday, April the 6th, 2018. This action was taken by the License Commission on January 25th. Earlier this week, I received an email from Mr. Kevin Bowe, one of the principals in the LLC, and I believe he's here now. He's asked, in an email, he informed me that apparently the date of April 6th, that event was apparently canceled unbeknownst to me, but the license had not been issued. In any event, he's now here before you seeking an amendment to that license, but in addition to the amendment, he's also asking that there be additional dates approved for under that license for the show. I believe there are, the dates I have from Mr. Bowe would be not only, well, it would be in place of April 6th would be April the 27th. In addition, there would be dates of June 1st, July 13th, August 24th, October 5th, and November 16th, 2018. Also, all to be held, events to be held at Game Time Sports at 1703 Middlesex Street on the hours of 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Mr. Bowe, I believe, is here now.
Just state your name for the record, sir.
Kevin Bowe, it's B-O-W-E.
How you doing, Kevin?
Good.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy to accept all amended dates for his scheduled events. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
So,
Motion carries.
Mr. Bowe, that license fee would be $100 for those dates.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're all set.
Thank you.
Take care.
And last, I just wanted to update the commission on a matter to do with Steve Syverson, who is the president of the Arts League of Lowell at 307 Market Street. Mr. Syverson had appeared before the License Commission on February 15th, and his application at that time was for a date in May 17th. And then in the week of March 17th, he informed me that I had not issued him his license for Saturday, March 17th. But I had told him that I had issued the licenses he had applied for, that the commission had approved on February the 15th. Apparently, he had did not realize he had made a mistake in his application, which originally was intended for May 17th, but he meant March 17th. So I amended that license.
That's fine. Motion by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Donahue for the ratification of that license. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, the motion carries. Move to adjourn by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening.
May I just address the commission real quickly? Very briefly. Mr. Healy's been here the whole time. He's downstairs. He's talking to police officers. He's downstairs. Thank you.